Hey, it's TM Powell with 44 in the town, and we're here at the new Superstore, the Emerald City Superstore here in St. Petersburg, and I'm here with Neil Johnson. He's the owner of Emerald City Comics. Tell us about this brand new Superstore that you guys have just moved into.
Well, we finally bought our own place instead of paying rent for all these years. Now we have our own place, and it's a massive 7,500 square foot store.
It's a lot different from being the old stores where you were kind of cramped a little bit.
Absolutely. You know, there's people that love the Seminole store and hated the Clearwater store, and vice versa, just because the Seminole store was so overcrowded and the Clearwater store was nice and sleek. But now this is an amalgam between the two.
And I was about to ask you a very dumb question. What is your most prized possession? But apparently you have a bunch laid out in front of us. Tell me what you got right here. Look at this.
These are introductions of characters that from as early as the 1950s forward. You got the first appearance of Daredevil, the Fantastic Four, Hulk, Thor, Spider-Man, X-Men, first appearance of Legion of Superheroes, Supergirl, and Wonder Woman #1.
And is it still like how I remember when I collected that the limited amount of issues, the more valuable it's going to be?
Absolutely. I mean, the older you get, trying to find them in a higher grade, so they're treated like pieces of artwork now.
Tell us a little bit about the grades. We've talked about this earlier before because you said you had some here that are really good and some that are not so good, but they're still collectible.
Yeah, the Overstreet price guide it's been around for 43 years. It's kind of the standard that every comic reader goes by. It's set up a 10-point scale, so a comic can be rated as low as a 0.05 to as high as a 10.0, and that scale sets the determination of what the value of the book is.
And you told me earlier, how many comics have sold for, what did you tell me, some crazy price before we started?
There's been like 5 comics in the past 5 years that have sold for over $1 million each.
Oh my gosh. And let me guess, 2 of them had to be Action Comics Superman, correct?
Yeah, first appearance of Superman, first appearance of Batman, and the first appearance of Spider-Man.
And you have 2 amazing fantasies with the Spider-Man here. Not just one, he's got 2 right here.
But so I wish they were in great a shape as the one that sold for over $1 million, but they're not that in quite good a shape.
Yeah, but to the right buyer, somebody will come and buy this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is amazing right here. I mean, a guy like me, I could blow the kids' college fund just looking at this right here. I would love to, but my wife would kill me. Now, with the resurgence of superhero movies, we've gotten a ton of them in the last 10 years. Good ones, too. That's a big thing. We had them. They weren't so good back in the day, but we have good ones. Do you see a residual effect by how these movies perform at the box office?
If the movie does really well and it's a big hit, then we get a residual off of it. But if the movie does poorly, we kind of get a worse negative response to it. If the Green Lantern movie that came out a couple years, which I thought was okay, but the critics didn't like it. It really hurt Green Lantern's sales. But when something comes out like the new Superman this year, or the X-Men movie that's coming out, or Thor, it knocks it out of the park, and it reflects in the sales that we have too.
One of the things Emerald City is most proud of with the new Superstore is their new comic wall. It really is amazing. It's so big. They have all the new comics out here. That way you can take your time. You can walk down the aisle, check out all the new titles. It's so much space. It really is fantastic. What's great about the new comic wall is all the titles are all spaced out. The new releases aren't crammed together, so you actually get to see all the great artwork that these artists provide for us in our comic books. You're not covering up any of the great artwork, any of the great titles. You see exactly what's out there for purchase. Here recently we saw a couple trailers just light up the internet. X-Men Days of Future Past and Captain America the Winter Soldier. People loved it, but some people had questions. They're not all like me who is familiar with the source material. My advice, come down here to Emerald City. That way you can find the source material right here. You can read up on it and be ready for the movies next summer. This is something we love here at Emerald City, a nice Arrow display. We talked about this earlier. Sometimes when shows hit it big or movies hit it big, you see a residual effects and the book sales, the comic sales, the toy sales, they all go up. But we love the fact that they're displaying Arrow here at Emerald City. Comics may pay the bills here at Emerald City, but as you can see, they got a wide variety of toys. I mean, look at all these action figures, and what's great is they're all organized by their type. You have Star Wars, you have Star Trek, you have Transformers, you have Marvel, you have DC. That way, if you're coming in looking for one particular brand, you come right up in here and you can find what you want. If you want to come in and look for Marvel, you can find a Marvel one. DC, Star Wars, Star Trek, everything. They've got it all. G.I. Joe, all the great things from your past. Sure, Emerald City has Batman, Superman, the Avengers, and X-Men, but they also have the unique stuff, like this Hudson from Aliens, Bill Paxton. This is one of my favorite characters ever. I even named my dog Hudson after this character in the movie. It's fantastic. I love that you can come here and get unique items. It's not just the brand names, it's the stuff out of the box. It's very cool. You can come here and check it out. It's all separated into brands, and guess what? It's also in alphabetical order. How cool is this item? It's the Green Lantern's lantern, how he charges his ring. So you just take the ring right here, put it on your finger, and look at that. It even lights up. How cool is that? Take it away, goes down, puts it back, charges it right up. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like the real thing. One of the things I collect personally is busts. I love the mini statues. They're great. I like the marble Bowens. They're really unique and really cool. And in my opinion, they're fine works of art. Now, when you think of a comic book collector, you usually think of a guy like me, you know, in the Wolverine gear. That's what you usually think of. But you told me something very interesting before we started filming, and that is your market in women is growing.
Yeah, a lot of the companies have really made a difference in trying to bring stories into the comic book form, you know, the graphic novel storytelling, but for a female reader, or for a female or male reader. You know, it's not all superheroes and spandex anymore.
Now, we were talking about collections earlier. Is there anything in particular you collect? Because I see you got toys, you got comics, artwork. Is there anything you personally that you collect?
Well, I mean, the whole store is my collection. I don't really collect anything too much. I like character-related Legos, and that's becoming a big thing now too.
I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything in particular that does the best? Is it toys? Is it comics? Is it artwork? Is it your graphic novel selection? What is that's your best seller here at Emerald City Comics?
Comics still are the #1 thing. There's so many comics. You know, comics come out every week, and then the trades also come out every week that collect the comics that came out months ago, and that drives the sales. The toys are extra, the games are extra, the artwork is extra, but comics are #1.
Well, Neil, you have a fantastic collection here at Emerald City. It really is amazing. My advice, if you're a collector like me, or even if you're a novice, stop down at Emerald City Comics. It is absolutely amazing. They've got tons of toys, comics, artwork, any kind of genre you can imagine. Star Wars, Transformer, Marvel, DC, anything a collector may be looking for, it's here at Emerald City Comics. Please stop by and see the place.